I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So, this is going to be a short video. I'm going to read in 2 Kings chapter 12 and 2 Chronicles chapter 24 about the beginning of the reign of Joash. Very brief moments here on both of them. Let us get to it. Remember, Joash, his whole family was killed by his grandmother Athaliah. She wiped them all out, took over the kingdom. She reigned for 6 years. Jehoiada, the priest, got a conspiracy with all the captains to kill her and anoint Joash to be king because he was the rightful king as the son of David, the son of the last king. So let us read in 2 Kings chapter 12. Now, the chapter heading here says, Jehoash, or Joash, reigns in righteousness, breaches in the temple are repaired, safety of Jerusalem purchased with the hallowed things in the temple, Joash slain, and Amaziah reigned. So that's the whole reign of Joash there. We're going to read the first 3 verses in this video. So here we have it. In the 7th year of Jehu, Jehoash began to reign, and 40 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. And Jehoash did that which was right in the sight of the Lord all his days, wherein Jehoiada the priest instructed him. But the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places. Just simple. Now, it says it's in the 7th year of Jehu, but his father was killed when Jehu became king. And then 6 years later, he becomes. This shows us these years are not exact, as I've said in a previous video. The 7th year of Jehu might be he's been king for 6 years and 3 months, so we're in the 7th year. Hasn't completed 7 years, but we're in the 7th year, and so we're going to call it 7 years. Anyways, so he reigned for 40 years, one of the longest reigns of any king. I don't think anybody in Israel will reign that long, and there's only 3 or 4 maybe that reign longer in Judah. But he's righteous, and I note that. He's righteous and following God as long as Jehoiada is instructing. That will be important. Keep that in mind. But let us now switch to 2 Chronicles chapter 24. Now this chapter heading states, Joash and Jehoiada receive contributions and repair the house of the Lord. Jehoiada dies, Joash falls into idolatry, slays a prophet named Zechariah, and is himself slain in the conspiracy. So that's the heading for the whole chapter. But again, in this video, we're only reading the first 3 verses. Joash was 7 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Zibiah of Beersheba. And Joash did that which was right in the sight of the Lord all the days of Jehoiada the priest. And Jehoiada took for him 2 wives, and he begat sons and daughters. So there we have it, Jehoiada. Now this is an interesting thing here. So he reigns for 40 years. Keep that in mind. He's going to be 47 when he dies, because he's 7 years old when he becomes king. Now he might be 48, but again, our timeline is just a little bit iffy on the exactitude of it. We can't get. But Jehoiada takes him 2 wives. How old was he when he was given 2 wives? I doubt he was all that old. Jehoiada didn't wait, 20 years to get him married off. He probably was married when he was 10, 12 years old. Now it is unlikely that, there was any kind of physical relationship there. But the marriages were sealed and set in place so that as they got older, they could then consummate the marriages at the appropriate time. But Jehoiada obviously felt that getting him married soon was important. He needed to have a family. He needed to have that support structure. Now remember, Jehoiada is his uncle, or you could say uncle-in-law, because his aunt, Jehosheba, is the wife of Jehoiada. So they're all family. Now, we aren't told who his wives are, but it is interesting that is pointed out early on in his reign, that Jehoiada got him these wives, got him set up in marriages. Anyways, it's a very simple thing. Now, they did kind of hint at a few things to come in the heading. Maybe I shouldn't have read it, but we'll get to that in future videos. This is just, he starts out, as a great king, but only when he has Jehoiada leading him. So we will see what happens with Joash in later videos. I believe the next one will still Anyways, in our next video, we'll be turning back to 2 Kings because, remember, Jehu reigns for 28 years, and it's in the 7th year of Jehu that Joash becomes king in Judah, which means Jehu has 21 more years as king, but Joash will be king for 40 years, so Jehu's reign ends while Joash is still king. So we will be returning to 2 Kings to read about the ending of Jehu, and we'll see you there.